This is Barry Zalma speaking for Claim School Incorporated's blog and newsletter, Zalma's Insurance Fraud Letter for March 15, 2025, this being volume 29, issue number 6 of the newsletter. And it being the Ides of March, that produces the newest issue of the fraud letter, the source for the insurance fraud professional. Zalma's Insurance Fraud Letter, or ZIFL, continues its 29th year of publication dedicated to those involved in reducing the effect of insurance fraud. ZIFL is published 24 times a year by Claim School and is written by Barry Zalma. Me. It is provided free to anyone who visits the site at the link provided, where you can read the full issue of the March 15, 2025 edition at the log and link provided. This issue contains the following articles about insurance fraud, starting with an article called "A Mold Fraud Case is Defeated." I received the following in an email from Jennifer Herrick, who used my mold books to help defeat what they believed were fraudulent mold claims. I felt it was worthwhile to pass it on and simply copied her email, which is available in the first part of the full 22 pages of this issue of ZIFL at the link provided. Next is an article about American insurers who need to adopt and implement an excellence in claims handling program, because attempts to obtain a quarterly profit lose multi-year profits, and insurers have, over the last 3 decades, decimated their professional claims staff. Experienced claims adjusters were fired and replaced with young, untrained, unprepared people. A virtual clerk replaced the old professional claims handler. Software programs took over from the seasoned interviewer to analyze the right to claims proceeds. Hands-on human skill, empathy, and judgment were removed from insurers' contact with those to whom they promised to provide indemnity fairly, promptly, and in good faith. Money was saved from the insurer's expense column by paying lower salaries, and within 3 months of firing the experienced claims people, gross profit increased for a quarter of a year or 2 quarters. But insurers do business and measure profit on a quarter of a century, not a quarter of a year. You can read the full article on how to create an excellence in claims handling claims department at the link provided in the blog. Then there is the list of health insurance fraud convictions, starting with Arkansas reporting 6 Medicaid fraud convictions and 1 civil settlement, starting with an article about Terry Franks, 28, of Jacksonville, Arkansas, who pleaded guilty to abuse of an endangered or impaired person, a Class C felony, and was sentenced to 5-year term of probation and ordered to pay a $250 fine and other damages. This is the first of dozens of convictions for insurance fraud actions by individuals and healthcare providers listed in ZIFL. Next is an article about more from McClenny, Mosley and Associates, this being ZIFL's 43rd installment of the saga of McLenny, Mosley and Associates and its problems with the federal courts in the state of Louisiana, and what appears to be an effort to profit from what some magistrate and district judges indicate may be criminal conduct, to profit from insurance claims relating to hurricane damage to the public of the state of Louisiana. Starting with a March 25, 2025 article about a $3 million suit against MMA by an investor with allegations of fraudulent estimates. Next is an article about my newest book, The Compact Book of Adjusting Liability Claims, 4th edition, which provides a handbook for liability claims adjuster and specifically for the liability claims adjuster. The insurance adjuster is seldom, if ever, mentioned in an insurance policy. The strict wording of the third-party liability policies set the obligation to prove a claim that entitles the insured to defense or indemnity of a claim against the insured by an injured third party on the insured himself. You can read the full article and the full 22 pages of ZIFL at the link provided. Then there's an article entitled Convictions of Other Than Health Insurance Fraud, where a claimant produced 40 fraudulent insurance policies worth more than $20 million, only to be convicted by a federal jury for conspiracy to commit insurance fraud and related charges for wire fraud, money laundering, and filing false tax returns. According to court documents, Ms. Williams conspired with her husband, James Williams, to defraud insurance companies by obtaining over 40 life insurance policies for applicants by misrepresenting their health, wealth, and existing life insurance coverage. The total death benefits from these policies exceeded $20 million. Unfortunately, they were caught and prosecuted before the insureds died. Then there's an article about my book, Deterring Insurance Fraud. Insurance fraud continually takes more money each year than it did last from the insurance buying public. There is no certain number. No one knows the amount that is taken by insurance fraud, because most attempts at insurance fraud succeed. But the closest estimates is over $308 billion a year. This new book on insurance fraud and how the DOJ deters and defeats insurance fraud is now available as a Kindle book, a paperback, and a hardcover. This video was adapted from my blog, Zalma on Insurance, to explain to you the fact of the March 15, Ides of March issue of Zalma's Insurance Fraud Letter, which is available free to anyone who clicks on the links provided in the blog. Please tell your friends and colleagues about this blog and this newsletter so that they too can subscribe. If you subscribe, you'll receive a notice of every blog posting, usually 5, sometimes 6 a week, and you'll gain access to the more than 5,000 blog postings. If you subscribe to the newsletter, it will be delivered to you in full as a PDF at no cost. You can also subscribe to these videos on rumble.com and youtube.com. And if you do, I'd appreciate it if you click on the like button on YouTube or the thumbs up button on rumble.com. And if you're interested in further detail about insurance, insurance claims, insurance law, and insurance fraud, please consider subscribing to my Substack publication, which is for a very small fee. Thank you for your attention.